Campbell is here now. Josh, you've reported on this case for the past 2 years. Walk us through how it came about and what today's ruling means.
Yeah, Phil. So, this stemmed from the case involving a man named Rahimi, who was objectively a menace. You just look at his history back in 2020. He was accused of abusing his girlfriend. She sought a protection order. He then went on to threaten another woman with a gun and was engaged in a spate of shootings, including road rage incidents. He was also accused of opening fire in a fast food joint over a declined credit card. And so his home was searched by law enforcement who found a gun, which was a violation of this federal law for people with these kind of protection orders. He was then prosecuted, but it was after that major 2022 decision, the New York case involving Bruin from the Supreme Court, this landmark gun case that impacted him. And, this gets a bit wonky, but what the Supreme Court determined was that modern day gun laws are only constitutional if there was some kind of equivalent law on the books at the founding of the nation when the Constitution was actually written. And so he won in the lower courts, but today this major decision from the Supreme Court in this 8-1 ruling. I'll read you part of what Chief Justice John Roberts said in writing the opinion. He says that our tradition of firearm regulation allows the government to disarm individuals who present a credible threat to the physical safety of others. Some courts have misunderstood the methodology of our recent Second Amendment cases. Again, writing there in that opinion. Now, I've been talking with victims of domestic violence as well as advocates. They're celebrating today's decision, and talking with some of these abuse victims. They say that, people often can't understand that when you're in an abusive relationship and then you factor in a gun, that ultimately often leads to sheer terror. And some of these advocates that we were talking about have been perplexed by this whole notion that modern day laws are only constitutional if there was some kind of historical analog. Have a listen.
It's not even logical. 230 years ago, women didn't have the right to vote. Slavery was legal. Domestic violence laws weren't even on the book. This is not someone saying, I'm going to come to your house and take away your right to own a firearm. This is us saying you are a violent person, and because of that, you are unable to own a firearm.
Now, it's important to note, Phil, finally, that this is one case. There are several other gun cases that are working their way through the lower courts. No indication this is some big shift that we will ultimately see in the Supreme Court moving forward, but certainly a day that gun safety advocates are celebrating today with this win.
Yeah, the statistics are about as clear as it gets. Josh Campbell, appreciate the reporting. Thank you.